All right, a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about Happy Herbivore's new cookbook, Holidays and Gatherings, and in it, I think it was the tailgating section, I'm not sure, she posted in her book a barbecue slider recipe, and I made it, and it was really good. It was the best barbecue sandwich I have had since the last time I had a barbecue sandwich. Okay, here's the thing. If you don't have soy curls to make barbecue sandwich, if you don't have lentils on hand to make a barbecue sandwich, but you have a head of cabbage, you can have a barbecue sandwich. Now, the only problem I have with Happy Herbivore's recipe is that it doesn't make enough. I mean, I've got a hungry husband, a hungry teenage boy, and then me, which I'm somewhere between those two. I can take down my own, you know what I'm saying? I have no problem horking down a whole food plant-based diet. No problem at all. In this video, you're going to see I made the recipe as she instructed, and it really didn't make that much. So I'm saying to you right now, if you've got a hungry husband, a hungry teenager, you like to eat, there's other hungry people, go ahead and double the recipe. Let's just start cooking and you can see what happens, okay? Okay, so here's a half of a small head of cabbage, like the recipe said. And you know cabbage, you start cutting on it and you think, I don't know if I have enough, but then it starts growing on the cutting board and then you're thinking, oh God, I cut up too much. But here's what we forget, that cabbage, when it starts to cook down tender, it shrinks up. And so by the time that you get to eating it, it's a lot smaller than you started out. So keep that in mind when you're choosing that head of cabbage and you start cutting it up for your cabbage sandwiches. Okay, so I put this in a big pot over medium-high heat, and when I started hearing everything starting to sizzle, I added a little water so the cabbage wouldn't start burning. And what we're doing here is just kind of a stir-fry steam action. The beauty of these sandwiches is that they don't taste like cabbage. So even if you have somebody in your family that doesn't like cabbage, it's okay. It's not a cabbage tasting barbecue sandwich. It's just the cabbage is there to get the barbecue sauce in your pie hole. You know what I'm saying? So you just want to steam it or kind of stir fry it till it starts to tenderize. And what I did with those few tablespoons of water, I just let them cook out. And when the pot went dry, then I added my barbecue sauce, which was perfect because it took about not 8 minutes. It took probably about 5 minutes for things to start getting soft. And then I added in my barbecue sauce, which this time I didn't make my own. I just bought Stubbs Original Barbecue, which doesn't have anything funky in it, and it's easy and I like it. It does have a little bit of heat to it, which is, you know, sometimes my family's not in the mood for. So you'll see in just a few minutes I added about a teaspoon or two's worth of maple syrup to kind of sweeten it up and mellow the spice of the sauce. But there you go. See, it's like, I mean, this is like almost real time, this video, because it only took a few minutes to soften the cabbage. I added the barbecue sauce and bam, look at it. It's tender, it's soft, it's a little floppy, but it is not overcooked cabbage. We're ready for some toasted buns, baby. Oh, there's the maple syrup. See, I knew I was going to add this in. Just stir that in. Okay, and then, you know, while this is going on, go ahead and toast up your buns, whichever buns you like to use. Gosh, it looks good. And so again, here's my point. You want to make more cabbage than you think you're going to eat because it does cook down, and when you start trying to pile the cabbage on your bun, it just starts to get really low, and it doesn't make a very, you know, beefy barbecue sandwich. And I mean, come on, we're having barbecue. We want to be able to, like, you know, like, we want a big bite of barbecue when we're eating barbecue sandwiches, right? And so, you know, go ahead and put extra on your plate. Here's my husband taking the first bite. Look at his face. He's like, I don't know about this. I'm not sure this is going to work. But he ended up loving these things, and we chowed down. We ate everything. There was no leftovers. These were so good because I only got one sandwich. I was like, I didn't get enough because I could eat 2 barbecue sandwiches, no problem. So the next day for lunch, I took the other half of that cabbage and I threw it on the stove and cooked that up, and we had that for lunch. I mean, we were eating in 15 minutes. It was like my most favorite hot lunch I've ever made in a long time. Okay, give this a try, and I'll talk to y'all later. Let's talk more about barbecue sandwiches in the comments below. Bye.